Hello and welcome to Tavern Chat, the more or less daily YouTube podcast. Podcast gets out less frequently. I beg your forgiveness. So today I thought I would touch on sandboxes. Part of the reason probably being because I will apologize for any of the background noise there might be. It is not my microphone. It is my suffering AC. It is, according to my watch, 97 degrees and fair outside in New York City. I know the West Coast is getting hit with the heat wave worse than we are, but my AC in the bed, no, in the, sorry, sitting room is 15 years old and can't keep up with the heat. And it's my belief that the electric company is holding back on some of the powers. There's no brownouts because even at our local pub, the AC there wasn't working properly. So it seems to be more than just a bad AC. It seems to just be hot, fucking hot. So I was watching Dungeon Craft. That's the Professor Dungeon Master's channel, and again, huge props to Joe the lawyer. Because Joe was the one that steered me on this, and I thought, to be honest, like, it's going to be a mostly 5e channel. It's actually mostly, believe it or not, even if it is 5e, it's mostly old school, which is pretty interesting as an old school gamer, blogger, caster, to find somebody who understands that. And he was talking about sandboxes. And now sandboxes, as frequently treated, is you give your players unlimited freedom and they go where they want, and it's usually a fucking mess. And I call this podcast channel, this cast channel, a sandbox. And talking crit with Mike and I is a sandbox. We don't normally go where we expect to go. The audience kind of moves us, but that's hard to do in a campaign because as a GM, you're supposed to prep. So, Professor Dungeon Master, why can't I say it right? The professor recommends that he has tables on his Patreon, which I am part of, and I have to spend time. I back the people that I really feel do a great job adding stuff to the community, and a lot of times I don't even use the material or read it that they produce because I'm more interested in supporting. But I gotta go and download his stuff because he suggests that at the end of, I guess, if an adventure lasts 2 or 3 sessions, once it's wrapping up, you give your players two options as to what we're going to do for the next session. Are you going to go and take this hook or this hook? And that's a very good way to do it. A lot of times, as a GM, you don't know what your players want to do if you're doing a sandbox until they show up. And he said, whatever they decide, they're locked in on. They can't just say, we changed our mind. We want to go explore the dungeon of inevitable assholes as opposed to going to the crypt of the fallen bartender. They tell you so you have time to prepare. Now, I am certainly somebody who loves to improv as a DM, but there's a limit to my ability to improv. And I certainly can't do it on a session by session basis because your players will catch on that you're just pulling shit out of your ass. Not necessarily the best way to do things, and they'll catch you on it. I do think, again, he gives them two choices. I would add in these are this option or this option, or is there a compelling option that I haven't thought of as your DM that the party wishes to investigate? Maybe they'll say, well, we want to check out the lead dealing with the royal house and the illegitimate son that was hinted at by one of the storekeepers. And you can go, all right, well, you know what? It's going to take you some time to find out the information to follow up on that lead. And now you have something to go for the next story break, the next completed adventure. Now you know where you're going to go after that. But definitely use your players for their feedback. That's the best thing I can say. I mean, I I've done it. I've run the hex crawl, and hex crawls can be miserable if your players are kind of like, I don't know, what do you want to do? I don't know, what do you want to do? It, there's no guidance, right? That's part of the problem with a traditional hex crawl as written. But giving them a choice of leads to follow is certainly a way to do it. So I tip my virtual hat to the professor. It's certainly a good idea, but I would add in, give your players the third choice. Again, you've given yourself a week or two where you can prep for them. Even if they throw you an oddball choice, if it's something that's feasible and they can do it, run with it. Make it. They'll appreciate it. They'll enjoy it for that. So it's just a short episode because I do have a live stream tonight with Bad Mike. We're doing Talking Crit. It's going to be a follow up of less of the political and social issue, complete failure on how to use social media drama, and other updates that are more precise, less open to interpretation depending on what side of the fence you're sitting on. I just think it's a better way to highlight and investigate the current situation with TSR and the Dutch and Hobby Shop Museum. So that's tonight, Wednesday, last day of June, June 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, on this very channel, youtube.com/10 Cars Tavern. Myself, Bad Mike, we look forward to seeing you. I am not a medical professional. We're in the midst of the world of COVID. There's spikes. There's this whole Delta variant. Listen, I'm immunized. All my co-hosts are immunized. My wife is immunized. But that doesn't mean that you need to get immunized. You know your health situation better than any of us. All right? Talk to a medical professional. Talk to your doctor. And get advice from somebody who isn't a talking head on the internet or TV. All right? That's really where you should be looking for guidance. All right? Because you got to be healthy to keep your friends, your family, your loved ones healthy and safe. Be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice. Knock on wood, I will be back again tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern, folks. Don't miss it. Thank you so much. I'll catch you later.